Okay. So let me try. Yeah. So hello everyone. My name is Devansh and I'm the lead for clubs Bharati Vidyapeeth Deemed University College in Pune, organizing this event called Android Study Jam and Kotlin Basics, where we'll be talking about the basics of Kotlin language. So we'll be covering some basic uh, Kotlin language. So probably we'll be talking about loops and verbs and functions, how to create them, and how to write it with code in them. We use Abhishek Dubey, our Android Study Jam's facilitator with us, and taking you through the course. So feel free to hop in. We hope that you're having a good time and you learn a lot. Thank you.
So in this session, we are going to talk about Kotlin fundamentals for Android. And you can use the Kotlin programming language to build very efficient native apps for Android. And we are going on a hands-on session also after this presentation. So let's see what's after. The prerequisites are the basic computer literacy, basic math skills, computer and headphones, internet connection, all the basic stuff, as you can see. An Android device and USB cable are optional. So if you don't have it, don't worry, you can run the app on the Android emulator also. So what you should already know. So if you are new to the programming languages, don't worry about it. We will talk through step by step. Just in case if you have no basics of modern OOP and basics of Java or C Sharp, then it's a very plus point. And you should also have some early knowledge about functions and classes. So it's a very plus point if you already know these things. What you will learn. So in today's session, we are going to learn about Kotlin data types, operators, variables. We are going to work with booleans, conditions. We are going to work with arrays, lists, loops. And then at last, we are going to look about Kotlin functions, classes, and how to pass arguments onto the functions and Kotlin classes. So this is the today's schedule. So let's head into the course. There is an Android Basics in Kotlin course available on the Android developers website. You can go and complete these courses. This is the first unit for the basics of Android. There's also boot camps available for the Kotlin. We are going to follow that in today's session. You can also take quiz if you want. And after completing all the classes, you can also earn badges in all the units you can complete. So you can earn badges and show it on your developer profile. A template developer profile, it looks like this. So you can add your social links also here in where you work or where you study. Okay, so moving on, Kotlin overview. So Kotlin programming language. The Kotlin programming language has a very robust code platform. Robust code means it is very short in terms of other languages. So if you write like 5 lines of code in other languages, it can be shortened in Kotlin in just 1 line. It has a very mature platform of developers. Many devices are supporting it, and Android is also officially supporting it for their apps. Its code is very concise and readable, so it's very easy to get started. You can interoperate with Kotlin code with Java. So you can write Java code and then call directly the Java code into the Kotlin code. And you can write the Kotlin code and call it in Java. It's just interoperability. see here the example. See, as the public class aquarium is declared, its constructor is also declared, a class is also declared. So this all things can be combined into a single line of Kotlin code. Data class aquarium where temperature int 0. So we are going to learn all about this in the upcoming session. There's also a Kotlin Playground available online. So you can head on to directly in your browser and just run the code. So no need to install the Kotlin language in your PC. Okay, so let's get started. So now I will switch to my desktop. Okay. So we'll be going through the Kotlin bootcamp one by one as the course proceeds. First is getting started, a simple lesson. This is all the benefits of Kotlin just summarized here. You can also install the IntelliJ IDEA if you specifically want to work on Kotlin, but here we are working on the Android apps, so you don't need the IDEA. This is an example hello world in Kotlin. So we are going to do it in our local server on Jupyter Lab. Okay, let's create a new file, notebook. Okay. Kotlin hello world. Okay. So if we run this function here, it will print out the hello world for us. So it will compile the program, it will run the program automatically. You don't have to do anything about it. See, the hello world is printed here. Okay, so we are going to learn step by step what functions are and how they are declared in Kotlin and everything else. So we are done with this code lab. Let's move on to the next code lab, Kotlin Basics. Okay, first of all, the operators. So there are some basic operators of plus, minus, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and there are data types which are int, long, double, float. Now bear in mind that the first letter of all these data types are capital, so it's very important. Now we will move on to how the variables are declared through the data types in Kotlin. So if we want to declare an int variable and assign it a value 6, so how can we do that? So you can do that in two types. You can use a val syntax and you can use a var syntax. Let me show you. Wait. So See, so if you use val I and make it int is equal to 6. Yes, Devansh? Oh, okay, okay. Okay, now? Okay, okay. Okay. Actually, I will switch to full screen mode. Okay, is it visible? Okay. So you can define an integer value of 6 like this, and then you can use the println function to print this value. See, 6. And you can also do this with var syntax. So var j int is equal to, let's see, 7, and then we can again print it here. So what different does this make? The val and var. So the val is a compile time constant. So compile time constant means is when you use val instead of var, the compiler will compile the value and then it can't be changed when you run the application. And the var value can be changed. So it's a very subtle difference, but it can make bugs in your code. So keep that in mind while using var and val. Okay, so let's do some floating point also. So val k equal to, let's see, double. We can store 13.0 here and then println k. That's how you can do the floating point in Kotlin. Okay. We can also change the data types from one to another using the built-in functions, as you can see here, to byte, to char, to double, to float, to int, to long. So if we take this k and put here dot to int, see, the decimal is gone. So you can do it like this. Okay. Moving on. Strings. So strings are also a Kotlin data type. You can declare the strings in double quotes, and it has a data type of Kotlin.string. So you can run this here also. Let's see, var str string, and this is a string. Okay. Println str. See, this is how you can declare strings also, by using capital S in the string and then declaring it. Okay. Moving on to conditions and booleans. So the first condition is the if-else statement. So how you can define the if-else statement here is, it's just simple. Conditionals. Okay. So its syntax is like this: if, then bracket, and then your condition here. Then another brace opens, and here is your body. And then else, and here is the else body. Okay. So this is the syntax of if else. Now we can use the comparison operators, which are this less than, equal to, or greater than equal to, or not equal to, and make some comparisons on the values that we are defined previously here. So let's make some comparison. Let's say if I is greater than j, then print, let's say I is greater, and then if it is not, then print j is greater. Say j is greater. So this is how you can use the conditionals in Kotlin. You know, there are also ranges in Kotlin. So these are some perks of the Kotlin. You can directly use ranges and you can compare them in the Kotlin. So if we were to say, if I in, we want to say we have a list of numbers. So we can create a list of numbers right here by using double dot operator. So 1 to 50. So we can print I is in range of 50. Say it prints I is in the range of 50 because it lies between 1 and 50. So you can use these double dots for ranges in Kotlin. Okay. There's also logical operators, logical conditional operators. There are and, or, and there's also not operator. So you can use them also. And this is a very important statement, the when statement. Wait a second, I'll show you. Okay. When statement. Okay. So when, and then we can input a variable like j here. Okay. So the when statement does is it compares this j with the conditions that you provide in the body, and then by using this arrow like operator here, it can do some task on the right side of the arrow. So it picks up j, and then when j, you can see in, we can use in let's say 3 to 9, then do print 3 to 9. We can use else also with this when operator, when syntax, sorry. Print like not in range. See, it was, j was in the range of 3 to 9, so it prints 3 to 9. And let's see, if we change the value to, let's say 10 here in the notebook, let's run this cell again, and then we execute this cell again, it says not in range. So when is very useful for cutting down the code, so you can use it very efficiently. So in very complex apps, there are a lot of if-else statements, so you can use when there, and you it will just simplify. Okay, yeah, moving on. You can also use when operators on string also. It's about nullability. It's in the prior programming experience course, so you don't have to care about this. Let's just skip this section. Now, coming on to arrays, lists, and loops. Okay. Let's declare some arrays and lists. Okay. So how can we make lists in Kotlin? Simply by using list of function or method. It's an inbuilt method in Kotlin and you can use it to make lists, arrays, anything you want. So let's see. We can take this example in the bootcamp only, and we can use val and then the name of the list, and then the method through which we can declare the list. And as you can see, it's a list of strings. So you can also make a list of integers, a list of doubles, anything. So it will now print, see, it's in square bracket. So it will print a list of schools here. Now if we were to, let's say where students or num students, if we were to make it list of integers, list of let's say 2, 4, 6, 8, and then print it. Okay, by mismatch. List int, but int was expected. Yeah. So as here you can see, you can directly pass the integers onto the list of method. It expects a string. So you can do one thing here. Window dot to int function, I guess. Can do this. No. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah. So you don't have to explicitly define the integer list. It just recalls from the inbuilt method and it automatically defines the list for you. So here's the list of integers and here is the list of students. Okay, so moving on, there's one more method, mutable list of. So what does mutable mean? Mutable means that this list, once declared, can't be changed. Sorry. Immutable. Immutable means once declared, it can be changed. Mutable means it can be changed. Okay. So you can define mutable list by using this mutable list of method. And yeah, there's also one more function also. Like num students dot remove. The remove method does is removes some data from the list. So if we were to do this, num students. Okay. What is the difference? Oh, okay. it isn't working here. Okay, let's remove from the school one. School dot remove. Let's see mackerel. Type variable defined in Kotlin. I think it's not working in the Jupyter lab. No, it's not working in the Jupyter lab, but it works in the other IDEs. So you can remove from the list. Now moving on to the arrays. You can define the arrays with where and val, as you can see. And the method for defining is the array of. You can use array of to define the arrays. And then if you have to print the array in form of string, you have to import a Java function, a Java library called arrays, and then you have to convert it to string to print the array. So let's see, if we define an array of, let's say, books, we have to use array of function. So let's see, if we to type say word theta, and then again say the theory of everything. Then let's say the unstoppable one. Okay, so here are 3 books, and you can print these using the Java .util .arrays library, and then you have to convert it to string books. See, it converts the array to the list of strings, and it prints. Okay, so as you can see here, you can mix two different data types in one array. So you can do one string and one integer, or one integer and one double. Wait, I will tell you how to mix it. Mixing of data types. Okay, so where mix, so let's mix one book and one num student. Okay, so num student 0, comma books 0. Okay, let's see if it works. Println Java dot util dot arrays dot string. Yeah, it works. See, so we have mixed the first element of this num students list and the first elements of the array of books, and here is the result, as you can see. Okay, let's see more. There is also a plus operator that you can use to combine 2 or more lists. Wait a second, I will. combining with plus. Okay, so where combine equal to array of, let's see, if we ever to combine the school and books. I think so. You can combine it directly. You don't need to school plus books. Okay. Let's save this prints. Yeah. So here is a combined list of the school list and the books array. Okay, so moving on. You can predefine an array also like this. So if it contains 5 items, you can predefine it like this, 5, and then defining all the items in the array body. So it's a little bit complicated here, but you just need to do it like this. We will see about this in the later session. Okay, now loops. Here is the fun part. Okay, starting with a very basic loop, that's for loop. Syntax is like this, just like if else. It's very basic. Here goes your condition, and here goes your body of the for loop. So let's see. We can define a temporary variable here, and then use the in operator to search through the school array, and then print each element one by one in the for loop's body. Okay, so let's do this for books instead. Okay, so let's do for, let's say, each book in books. Now keep in mind this is a temporary variable just created for this specific loop body. It will not work anywhere else in your Kotlin code. Print ln each book, a little space for formatting. See, it prints out very nicely. If we erase this ln function, it prints out like this. So you can use this to print all the array lists and store all the elements in the list also, and the arrays also. You can also search with index. So there are many methods that you can use with the lists and arrays. So they are available in the Kotlin API on its official website. So you can check it out also. We will be using these when we will be developing the Android apps. Okay, so you can also use ranges in the for loops too. So let's see. If we want to iterate a variable I in a range, let's example 1 or 5 to 20. Okay, keep it 10, 5 to 10, and then print it one by one. See, here it prints it. Oh, sorry, can combine. Okay. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you can use the range in the for loop also. You can use the ranges for the alphabets also, actually the strings also. It's a very helpful. Wait, let me add this here. Wait. For let's say yes, character for ch in, let's say A2 E, and then we can print each character one by one. See. So it's a very useful feature in Kotlin. Okay, now moving on. There's some more operators and loops. There are while loops, do while loops, the plus plus and minus minus operators. These are very helpful. So let me define these. A different cell, loops, while, do while. Okay, let's take this here. Okay, so here we are initializing a bubbles variable with 0, and then we will iterate over it. And as soon as it's less than 50, it displays this message, this string. So let's run it. See, it iterates over and over and over in the background, and then it prints 50 bubbles in water. As it's instantaneous, you can see the iterations, but it does that. And then there is the minus minus operator. You can use it to decrement a variable. So here you can see it's 49 bubbles. And then also you can use this repeat method to repeat its body how many times as you need by providing this variable over here. So if we were to say like repeat it 5 times, okay, so it will repeat it 5 times. So yeah, fish is swimming, a fish is swimming, a fish is swimming, just like that. Okay, so we are done with the loops and the operators. Like the summary. So let's move on to functions. Okay, so till here, if anyone has questions, uh, keep it in the YouTube chat and we will try to solve it. Okay. Oh, okay, okay. Okay, okay. Okay, so explore the main function. So here is, as you can see in the starting, we created a function called print hello. So it the basic function is to print hello world here. We can use the fun syntax to create functions here. So let's say fun create variable. So it's a function name. You can name it anything. Just try to keep the first letter small and other words that are coming in the sequence, the letters should be big. Okay, so just define the function body where let's say it's int 10, and then print the value of I, and then we can call the function by just calling its name like this. it prints the value 10. So you can just define it using this method. You can pass the arguments also into the function. We will see in a bit. Let's pass it. Functions. Arguments. Okay. So we will define another function. That's let's say user variable. And it takes here is a value, let's say a temporary value, that's temp, and it's an integer value. It takes an integer value as an argument in its header, and then prints its successor. So temp plus plus. So we are printing it. So let's see what happens. So this is how you can call it. First write its name and then pass the arguments into this parenthesis. So if we were to pass 10, it will print 11. 12 cannot be reassigned. Oh. So it doesn't. Wait a second, temp. Okay, that's it. Wait a second. Temp int. Oh, okay. So you can't use the plus plus operator directly on the arguments here, but what you can do is create another variable, let's say temp1, and then assign its value from the temp, and then I guess add it. Yeah, the plus plus operator is not working in this. I think it's some environment error. Yeah, so you can, pass the arguments into the functions like this. Okay, so moving on. Learn why almost everything has a value. So it's a little bit more advanced. You can skip this section. Learn more about functions. Create some functions. You can create the functions with fun. You can also import the Java libraries into the Kotlin program as well using the import keyword, and then java dot anything, any library. Okay. Explore default values in compact functions. This is a bit more advanced. Get started with filters, get started with lambdas and higher order functions. No. Okay. So I think this is the very basics about functions. And the last thing we want to talk about is classes and how they are declared. Classes and objects. So a class is created like this: class, and then its name, and then everything inside its body. So if you were to create class, let's say Kotlin learning. And then we can define everything in its body, like where I is equal to 10. Say, let's not give it I, it's num1. Where num2 is equal to 12. We can define a method here with fun. Then num1 plus num2. Okay, so this is how you can define a class by using the class keyword, then its name, and then it's the body. And then you can define the variables in the class and the functions. So here this function is add the two numbers here. So we have to create a separate object for if we want to use the class. So let's see, function min build a query. Yeah, let's see. So where KTL is equal to Kotlin learning KTL dot add unresolved reference. Oh, typo. Yeah, here you go. So this is how you can define a class, and then you can just use the where or val to create an object for the class to call it, and then you can call the add method or add function using the object that you just created, the ktl.add. So this is how you can create the classes, define it, call them. And then one last thing we can look at is how to pass some arguments to the classes. And then we will wrap up. Class, let's say divide nums. No, wait, let me see the syntax here. Yeah, create a constructor. So a constructor is how you can pass the arguments to the classes. So it's just like the function, but you create the parenthesis here, and then you pass the arguments which you want. So let's see, if we want two integers, like we want n1 of int type, then we want n2 of int type, or just keep it double. So if we are dividing, we better keep it at double for better precision. And then we can use this n1 and n2 inside the class. So fun divide print ln. See, n2 divided by n1. Okay, now let's create an object, div initialize the class divide nums, like this, and then you can call the divide function from the object. Divide. Okay, let's see. So here, when defining the class, you can pass the arguments right here in the parentheses. So let's just pass, let's pass 5, 10. Oh, okay. It's double. So we have to pass 5.0 and 10.0. And 1 is never used, and 2 is never used. Unresolved reference. Oh, okay. You can't just directly use these arguments into the functions itself. You have to first define some class variables also. So let's just define class variables quickly, like number1 is equal to n1, where number2 is equal to n2. Okay. Number2 by number1. Okay, there you go. So this is how you can pass the arguments to the classes by initializing them and then passing them the arguments through the parentheses. And this is some more advanced topics. If you want to see, you can go through it, but it's not actually necessary for the new to programming track. It's more necessary in the prior to programming track. So that is that. Okay. So I will be sharing this Jupyter Lab notebook onto the GitHub, and I will be posting a link and also the presentation itself. So you can just go through it if you have to, and see the examples, download it, run it also. I will be mentioning the instructions in the README file. So when you open the GitHub, you can see it. Okay. So let's see. Switching question answers if you have any. Devansh? Yes. Yeah, actually, it's a very popular question. So wait, I'm changing to intro scene.
Uh, I think there's no sound. Let me just check once again. Abhishek, your voice cut off. There's no sound, I think. Can you just check once? Yeah. Are you audible?
Yeah, wait, I'm switching it. Mhm. Okay. So, any other question? Oh, okay, the Flutter one. So you can use the Android Studio IDE to build the Android apps as complex as you want. You can do that with Flutter or anything because the Android Studio has a layout builder and also a design editor. So you can just drag and drop, a text box, a button to onto the template, and then you can adjust all the little properties in the UI. So you don't have to write them in the code specifically. So this is a very, very plus point of native development instead of Flutter and React. And also there is very much huge support of native development. It's a very, yeah, yes, 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 yes. Yeah, so if you're working with Flutter and starting with Flutter and you already have a knowledge of Kotlin, it's very plus point because the Kotlin syntax is just like Dart language. The Flutter is built on Dart. You have to work on Dart if you want to work with Flutter. And if you already know Kotlin and Java, you can just hop in and just develop the apps. You don't have to learn Dart programming language. The syntax is very same. Yeah. Okay, okay. Okay, so these are some additional links if you can check this out. And thank you for joining this session, everyone. Okay, so I'm ending this. Okay, thank you.